Wingblade, you were talking about these heroes in game number 1. You would say, the exact sentence that you said, you were like, you need ways to contain some of these outlier heroes like Tiny, like Death Prophet. Wolf Team have both, right?
Yeah, Gorilla's pride was like, oh, last game was pretty hard. Let's give him the 2 strongest heroes in the patch. They must have a plan, because if they don't, well, they're utterly and truly screwed.
Yeah, I have no idea how you actually persist in playing the game if you don't have a plan to deal with DP Tiny. These, especially Death Prophet, in my opinion, this hero is just absolutely busted. Just bad at every single game. It does help from the side of G-Pride that they have ways to stall the DP, prevent her from getting too deep into the fight, with the Shadow Demon being picked up as their first opening too. And having Tidehunter as well, they have some decent degree of team fight here available already from G-Pride, but doesn't it feel like they have to do so much in the draft just to try and match what Wolf Team gets automatically with these 2 picks?
5 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm still kind of confused as to why they gave these heroes. So I guess Tide is good against Tiny because Tiny has a lot of base damage, and Shadow Demon is good against both Tiny and Death Prophet because for one, you can slow Tiny down to a crawl, and you can make sure that Death Prophet can't go for a self-heals. So that's nice. But then, I mean, Tiny is still a carry that gets a free Battle Fury, and DP is just insanely strong at any stage of the game. So I'm not sure if it balances out, but we'll see. I mean, Gorillas wouldn't have gone for this if they didn't believe in it. And if they believe, then I believe.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that particular thing about Tiny playing into Tidehunter with having flat damage and, of course, playing into the Anchor Smash with percent-based damage reduction. Every game I've seen of Tiny losing in this patch has involved one of 3 things. Either percent-based damage reduction in the form of Tidehunter and or Abyssal Underlord or Dragon Knight. It's either that, it's damage steal, usually in the form of the Razor, or it's just so much overwhelming damage that Tiny doesn't actually have an opportunity to make his presence felt. So far, Gorilla's Pride, they have one of the 3 in the Tidehunter, and with this Gyrocopter, we don't have a clue yet of what they're going to pair it with, but I'm hoping that where they go with the rest of this is to just add damage, y'all. They already have, I mean, Tidehunter is some decent team fight, but you need to, Tidehunter, not going to be enough damage, nor is Shadow Demon. You need damage to deal with the DP and the Tiny, especially now that Puck shows up. Does this mean that we've seen the 1, 2, 3 from Wolf Team already, and they just need their support, or do you think that they'll shift to the DP 2 or 5 position later on in the game, or in the draft rather?
DP is pretty decent in lane against Tidehunter. But I think I would still prefer her as a position 3. She does get countered a little bit by the Shadow Demon though, so I have a slight preference for a 3 still, but they could run it as a support. I was just gonna mention how I thought it was kind of interesting that against the Tiny and the DP they did decide to go for the Gyrocopter, because Gyrocopter isn't really a hero with a lot of burst damage. It's a little bit slower, and when you have the Shadow Demon with the Purge, you have a window to completely burst down the DP. But I think they just got inspired last game by HFN's Gyro, and instead they just pick up Dusa. So it's gonna be like either mid Gyro or mid Dusa, and I'm leaning towards mid Dusa because mid Gyro doesn't really do anything to Puck, because you can just phase shift the missile.
The last time I saw a draft similar to this was a couple of days ago when we were doing the China DPC. And in that particular context, when they had the Medusa with Gyrocopter, the Gyrocopter just shifted into position 5. And just in general, I've been seeing a lot more POS 5 Gyro than I've been seeing POS 1. Obviously, in this game, there is Shadow Demon, but feels like they're probably going to run the support. We don't know exactly where it's going, but what do you make of Gyrocopter support overall, especially in the current meta, which just seems so fast compared to some of the previous ones?
I'm never really sold on Gyro 5. It can work, but the problem is that he just has such abysmal damage. Like, he doesn't really trade well with other supports. And then he also doesn't have a reliable disable. So you need to make up for it somehow in the mid game with like a lot of magic damage. But if you want a lot of magic damage, why not just pick like a hero with magic damage that's also stronger in lane, like Elena or a Skyrat? So I just don't really get it. It's like you pick a hero and you know that like 2 of his spells are gonna be useless because you can't run in close and your attacks deal no damage. So I don't know. The purpose is kind of lost on me. But maybe I can be convinced if this game goes well.
I regrettably have. I wish I could talk you out of it, but I'm like, oh, he's saying things that I've felt also. Yeah, so. On the other side, Wolf Team, at the very end of the draft, we saw bans on Monkey King, on Voidspirits rather, and Kunkka as they go for this last pick, Monkey King. So, does seem to be the case that this is going to be the 5-position Treant Protector for KJ, and I'm hoping that this is the Monkey King that's going to be played by King RD. Otherwise, you know, we're in a situation again where I don't want a farming Monkey King here. I want something that's a bit more faster paced. Sets up quite nicely with the puck as well. Big team fight actually from these heroes on the side of Wolf Team. How do you fight into Ghost, Overgrowth, Wukong's Command, Dream Coil? I mean, this Medusa feels like she's going to get shredded alive in these team fights, Wingblade.
Yeah, I can really see Medusa struggling here because it isn't just damage, it's a lot of control as well. I've played a lot of Death Prophet, and if you can get the shot, it's so strong against Dusa, because Dusa doesn't really like buying BKB, and, well, she's not very mobile, so you can consistently proc the fears in the late game. So even late game isn't really salvation for you. You're just kind of gonna get kited. So I am very worried for Gorilla's Pride. I am not a huge fan of this draft, giving away the Death Prophet and Tiny, but also picking Dusa in a game where she's just gonna get completely controlled.
You may now select
Last pick on the Lesh
Okay,
rack
so
here
this is
for the
gonna
mid
be
lane.
the Lesh mid, looks like. We'll see, we'll see.
Look
I
at
mean,
this.
Gorilla's Pride is a very good team, so who knows?
I'm seeing this Lesh going mid, and I'm sort of fine with it, but what I'm not fine with Wingblade, it looks like they're going to be playing King RD, Tiny, and HFN on the Monkey King. I can understand why you would want carry Monkey King going into the Medusa, but I personally am not a fan of Pause 4 Tiny. I think that this is a hero that deserves to be in the core role right now. What do you make of this from Wolf Team? Does it, I mean, at the very least, it does give them one extra avenue of initiation. Once he picks up Blink Dagger, you jump forward, throw a target back, but doesn't it feel like all the things that make Tiny amazing right now aren't the things that you pick this hero or a support hero for in general?
True, you make some good points. But thinking about it, it's kind of logical because you're playing Tiny into a Shadow Demon who's gonna slow you down to a crawl, and a Dusa who doesn't really care about burst damage and can pretty consistently proc the Stone Gaze, and then you have the percentage damage reduction. So this is a really difficult game for a carry Tiny. And don't get me wrong, it's also a complete shit game for a position for a Tiny, and position for a Tiny kind of sucks as a whole. But it's better to have your position 4 have a difficult game than your position 1. And this looks like a way better Monkey King game, because he doesn't really care that much about Shadow Demon. And you have the Wukong's Command, which is great against immobile heroes like Dusa. So I kind of get it. I kind of get it, man.
Now that you know, this is actually good rationale. I can see where you're coming from with this. And of course, Tiny was going to be having himself a rough time. Before we get into the game, though, this last pick, Leshrac, has G-Pride. I don't think either of us were very fond of their draft before that, but the Leshrac, does it change enough to give you more confidence in the squad that we might have a game 3? Or even despite the fact that we have Tiny in the 4 position, is it still the case that the Wolf Team draft is that much better than the G-Pride draft?
I'm still not completely sold on the G-Pride draft. I guess Lesh is nice. I like Lesh as a hero. In this game, I could see it struggling as well, because there is a lot of AoE control. It's not just for the Dusa. But I think if he can get off to a good start and get like the BOTs going, he can put out a lot of pressure. And one downside for Wolf Team is that they need quite a lot of commitment to get kills.
Yeah.
Like until Tiny gets a blink, they're gonna have to commit cores to get kills every single time. And it's gonna be quite difficult to rotate with like 3 plus Tiny. So if their lanes don't go well, it's gonna be difficult for their supports to fix that until they get Blink on Tiny, which is gonna open up like a lot of other possibilities. But if the lanes go poorly, that's gonna be difficult for them. So that's definitely a big upside for G Pride.
Let's see how these lanes are going to pan out as we are in now into game number 2. Winner of this, if it is Wolf Team, they get their first victory on the board. If it's G Pride, we go to a game 3. Which will it be? Let's find out together. The games are underway, and we're going to have some intriguing lanes here. Wingblade, you, sir, are the conductor of chaos. Tell us, which lane should we be paying the most attention to in this one?
Ooh. There is a lane with a Tiny, which is always spooky. At the same time, I could see some action happening bottom lane as well. I'm gonna say top though. Top has squishy heroes with a lot of damage. Bottom, they're slightly tankier. But you know, you're Dolps, you need to watch everything.
Damn it, don't remind me, fam. As I just missed King RD taking out a young courier from Yarumi. Gonna be a rough time, and indeed it is gonna be the case that G Pride are playing this 5-position gyrocopter. You know, I'll never get used to this Wingblade. Seeing Gyro and Medusa in the same lane, I'm just like, what is this? This is
feels like a pub where people couldn't decide who was the carry.
Oh, and they're like, who's gonna farm, fam? Let me take it. Medusa's like, I'll do it. And then once Medusa dies, Yadomi's like, okay, it's my turn to farm now. I'm gonna be the new carry. So much can happen in this top lane. One thing I am concerned about though is no matter how farmed this Medusa gets, there's always that point in the game where she doesn't really want to be active or participating. And we saw in the previous game that G Pride looks so much stronger when they were able to respond to fights as 5. Does it mean that it's going to be a somewhat different situation when they just simply can't given the draft?
That's a difficult question. I feel like as long as Dusa farms and the rest is active on the map, I think they're gonna be fine. Because looking at their heroes, they're pretty capable of fighting throughout any stage of the game. Also, I just wanna briefly mention that Dusas never wanna farm. Like they never wanna, join the team. They always wanna farm.
Yep.
It's just that their captain makes them sleep outside if they don't, so...
You know, when I was a player way back in the day and way worse than when you were a player, I played Dusa in the safe lane and I know exactly what you mean. It's like, come on, man. Show up. Just show
lane?
up. Bottom lane.
No, nothing. Never
Nah,
mind,
you said
just
top, you
ignore
said
me
top,
for
yeah.
the rest of the cast. Just don't listen to me at all.
Little did any of you know that you're going to be showing up for game 2 and it's going to turn into a solo cast here because Wingblade has now been retired. I've already muted his mic on the side here, you know. I'm not going to hear a word from him.
Feels bad, man.
You know what kind of sucks though, and that also feels really bad. Playing Tidehunter into the Monkey King Tree and Protector lane. This cannot be fun for Lewis. This is not enjoyable at all.
At least the tower got moved closer. And he has a Ring of Health already. This is like as good as it can go for a Tidehunter.
Having access to the ROH, keep him alive. Unfortunately, we do already have a point into the disruption from Yannick. So that should be the tool necessary to make sure Lewis doesn't actually die in this lane. We're not seeing too much action as we just take a quick gander towards middle. What do you make of this matchup? Here, this is where your expertise comes in vogue, Mr. Mid Laner. So, Leshrak, Puck, which do you prefer to play in this particular patch?
I think it's pretty even. They're both high damage, long range intelligence heroes with spammy shit. I think Puck is slightly easier because you have the phase shift, but you're still, like, it can still go either way. It's a very skill-dependent matchup.
Oh, I thought that Yannick would end up taking a tumble, but instead it turns out the first tumble is going to happen in the top lane. As now able to get the kill onto the Tiny. That is quite interesting because Yarumi also left the lane after the kill happened. So homing missile, you were talking about it. Lots of damage, low health, probably going to be getting a kill. And indeed it is the case that G Pride yet again get themselves the first blood. This time around though, it's not super early in the game, so we're not going to get like instant acceleration for Tau. But this feels quite nice for the Medusa to be able to get a kill like that. You still stay in the lane, still keep farming, so extra gold from a kill, and oh my gosh, is he gonna chase down Tabo? One more right click might be enough here, but can't close the gap, and unfortunately Yadomi is not actually there to provide the homing missile. So Tavo will be able to escape, but Medusa feeling very good, even in this 2v1 scenario here, Wingblade.
Oh, it was in, but that was kind of low.
Okay.
Doesn't really want to commit too hard there. But they did get all of the mana for the Dusa, which is really big. Never mind, there is a mango. See, this is why you should not listen to me.
It's fine. Future you always contradicts past you, so it's fine. You know, I must listen to you right now. I must listen to you in the next minutes.
Alright. Just only listen to future me, not present or past me.
While we're busy talking about what's happening top though, HFN did manage to find a quick pick off onto our Shadow Demon down bottom. And HFN, you know, last game he had a decent enough start here on the Gyrocopter. This game he's having a perfect start on the Monkey King. And we're already talking about how good of a game this could be for the MK. Doesn't feel like, I feel like G-Pride, as soon as Leshrac is able, they have to rotate here. And speaking of Leshrac,
so lovely.
they're gonna be able to get the kill. Invis up, no way away from it. Sorry, KJ. Just gonna get burned away by the Rainbow Pony.
The Gyro did rotate to the mid lane now, and with level 2 Edict and a Catapult, I could very well see this tower going down here. That would be a quick one.
They're gonna try and stop this though from Wolf's team as they go with the Dream Coil. They snap the coil with King RD, tossing back Yadomi, but they just don't have the damage right now. And it's all, G-Pride's like, cool, that happened. Alright, we're just gonna go back to doing what we're just doing, boys. Got the Siege Dragon pushing up. We popped the fortification to try and protect it a bit longer. Don't think they get the tower on this push, but it's low enough that the next one, almost certain it's going to happen. And to try and deal with this, KJ has been forced to rotate middle, but because he lacks access to living armor, he can't really provide any effective defense for the tower just yet.
Yeah, it feels so bad to lose tier 1s before you can start healing them. Because that's kind of one of the big reasons why you would want to pick Treant.
Yeah.
Just make sure you keep that map control. Treant is a very slow hero, and like being able to heal towers and keeping the tier 1s alive for longer kind of compensates that in a way.
Does finally have the pointer to living armor after they pick up Yadomi in the jungle here between himself and the Tiny of King RD. Will provide a decent chunk of gold, but the most important thing is providing the all-crucial level. And unfortunately, though, they take the tower before that. Although this will cost the life of Tao, HFN having rotated in, and Genek might be in some degree of danger as well, as there's going to be the Dream Coil floating out. King RD doesn't really need to do all that much either. He'll eat the homing missile, but doesn't really mean all that much. Yadomi not going to try and chase him down, and he's looking for an opportunity to toss him back. Loses vision through the trees, though. It is nighttime. And King RD just well happy to get the 2-0 kill. But on the bright side though, if you're the Leshrac, yeah, sure, you end up dying here, but you got the tower pre-10 minutes and pre the healing from the Treant Protector. You're probably okay with this, if not happy about it. You can live with this, right, Wingblade?
Yeah, for sure. Dying this early in the game doesn't really impact your game plan too much, and being able to take out the tier 1 before it can get healed is way more important.
They might actually get more than just tier 1s though. They've already picked up 2 kills down bottom for Tao. Looking for an additional one. Lewis does have access to the Ravage. Doesn't want to let it rip too soon though. Not in front of the puck. And this puck in particular does manage to get the pick up onto Genek. 40R though realizes that he can't keep this chase going. Lacks access to the Dream Coil. They do not have Ghost on Tavo, and there's a Ravage on Lewis, so they'll just be glad that they forced them away from the tier 1 tower, but nonetheless, it is still going to be G-Pride that's forcing the movement on the map, and because they're the ones forcing the movement on the map, look what is the big result of this, Wingblade. Medusa doing what she does best, not participating in anything, playing some PvE Dota, man. You gotta love it.
Still slightly behind HFN on his Monkey King, but would expect her to catch up pretty soon. This Monkey King is gonna be going for the really old school, as far as that's possible, with Monkey King build, which is gonna be the Echo Saber.
Is he going Echo Maelstrom, dude? I haven't seen this in a very long time.
Yeah, when Monkey King first came out, everyone was like, oh, Echo Saber, so good, because you like instantly get the Jingo Mastery. And it was pretty good. Then people discovered the Diffusal Blade, and people kind of stopped buying the Echo Saber, but looks like it's back in the meta, or at least back inside HFN's repertoire.
Now that you mention it, actually, Diffusal Blade does seem like the primo option here, right after the Echo Saber, given that he's playing into this Medusa. And oftentimes we do see that Diffusal is just a primary option in general when dealing with the Snake Lady, as Yadomi just gets taken out in the trees by 40R and King RD. So if he does go for the Diffusal next, right, it's very good for being able to fight the Medusa, but it does also mean that they actually have to fight. Mustn't turn into a farm fest, as Tao will end up also being able to pick up the life of the Tiny. Yo, Tao, he's having a good game, but just been having a good series overall here from the mid lane. I've been quite impressed by what he's been able to accomplish with the squad.
Yeah, for sure. This is quite painful for the Tiny because he... Ooh, Tide actually goes down.
Might just be the Tide, because they also have the Dream Coil out onto Yadomi as well. As this Gyrocopter falling quite low, he's going to end up taking a tumble too. There's two heroes that lose their lives down bottom. Tavo, happy to commit the Ghost for that one. Would prefer as well to get some additional damage onto the tower, but they don't have that much time to do it in. A couple of seconds between these Ghosts expiring and damage being possible on the tower, so G-Pride forced to pop the fortification. Tavo will eat the full heal, but G-Pride also will move in now to ensure that there will not be a push onto the tower just yet, keeping the map presence available for G-Pride.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The HFN doesn't have anything in his quick buy just yet. He does have 1k gold.
Is under attack.
We'll see. We'll see. Ooh, Ravage on bottom. Tavo.
Tavo in danger, got
Nice
ravaged
silence.
Oh man, that silence in conjunction with this living armor, making sure that Tavo is not really in danger, and with the Spirit Siphons out. Man, that's why you banned this hero. What the hell, y'all? G-Pride, look at this. Any other hero would be dead right now, but you can't really deal with the DP, and they're trying more and more, even committing the full demonic purge from Jenek. But with the assistance of KJ, King RD now showing up in the fold, there's just no way you can get this kill. Tavo gonna be perfectly fine. They want to try and force this tower, but Tavo gonna make sure that if they get the tower, they pay a further price in blood. Now will also make himself known. They get the tower at long last. Oh no, split up! It caught 40R and he TP'd into the tower to try and defend it. Does catch the Illusion Orb over to the left side, but they do find the kill eventually. Yadomi running away from his Spirit Siphon as HFN trying to involve himself in the fight. There's going to be the Wukong's command coming in. Overgrowth also thrown in by the tree, and Tao cannot escape the Wukong's until it's already too late. Loses his life to King RD. And that's a
Now
3-for-1
as well.
trade so far. And now is finding himself already having committed Stone Gaze, all alone, all isolated, tossed back into the rest of the Wolf team lineup. Will they be able to kill him? Silence, beautifully done by Tabo yet again, onto 2. And now just does not stand a chance here, doing his best to run. Yenek buying time with the disruption. But you're only buying time for them to close in on you harder and kill you both. At the very least, King RD dies. But it doesn't mean much when you also lost your Medusa. And at the end of the day here, Wingblade, it turns into a full team wipe. G-Pride lose absolutely everybody in this bottom lane fight.
Yeah, a team wipe at like 12 minutes. And already tied and Gyrocopter respawning because the respawn times are so low. Yeah,
Why did G-Pride
really...
look for that fight, Wingblade? Why? They surely
I'm
should
not
have known
sure.
that there was like Dream Coil, there was Wukongs, there was still Overgrowth. That was so risky.
I guess they feel strong with the Hood on Lesh, but Lesh is still very vulnerable, only 1200 HP and not too much in terms of IMI, so he just kind of got shredded by the Wukongs.
Oh boy. Not what we wanted to see at this early stage. Might be a harbinger of things to come down the line. And it does seem like HFN has made the decision. We're going Diffusal Blade, baby. We've already got the first Blade of Alacrity. That is the direction we're going to go. Make sure we burn away the Deucer. And to make it easier to kill the Deucer, the rest of the team going on a smoke move. 40R has access to the Dream Coil once more. Would like to find another Lesh or Deucer. Deucer, the big target. Lesh will do. As Tao in a bit of a dangerous position. Do they get the vision onto him? Oh, smoke does pop. They've got a sentry down, but they don't see him just yet. There's going to be the Dream Coil. And they snap the coil by tossing him right back to 40R. That's why they're playing the support here, Wingblade. That's the combo that I didn't see. And Tavo able to clean up inside the Wukong's command. They turn it into a triple kill as both supports lose their lives. A fleeing Medusa, a fleeing Tidehunter, Not certain they'll be able to catch up to these heroes, but it doesn't matter. They've won the fight, and with Ghost still going, they're going to put a ton of damage onto the tier 2 tower, if not just taking it outright here, Wingblade. A team wipe at 12 minutes, a push onto tier 2 at 15 minutes. Wolf team have turned up the pressure in game number 2.
Yeah, we spoke about this. Ooh, this is a dead tree.
Yeah, he's
Nice
on.
return kill. But yeah, we spoke about this last game as well, where the gold being even does not equal the teams being equal in strength. Because right now Wolf team is so much stronger, because even though Dusa has 8k net worth, she doesn't contribute to fights at all.
Does practically nothing, and unfortunately, because Leshrac isn't actually tanky enough just yet to survive these fights. You were mentioning he had the Hood of Defiance, felt confident going into that bottom fight, realized very quickly that just having that additional degree of magic resistance when you only have 8 armor and 1200 HP, not gonna help you versus DP, Monkey King, and the Puck. So looking in towards getting this Yule Scepter. But even the Yule Scepter, this doesn't feel like one of those games where it's just like an instant success guaranteed happening from this item. I would have preferred personally to see Sanj and Kaya over this, but I suppose that the silence of the DP has been too much of a problem at this early stage, so they need some way to dispel it.
I mean, the problem with going for items like Hood and Yules is that it delays your BKB as well. So in the long term, it's gonna set you back quite a bit. And if you go for a defensive item first, like Hood, and then you still die, that's like the worst of both worlds. Because if you die while you have a farming item, well, at least you're still gonna farm. But this just has to feel so bad for the Lesh. On the bright side, 4DR isn't doing much better. He's ahead by a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Wingblade, remember what past you said. We don't listen to present you, only past and future you. And past you was reminding us that 4DR has kind of been playing this off-lane role for the squad. And if he's losing out, not getting that much, it's kind of okay because of how much Tavo was getting on this Death Prophet. Not only is Tavo getting a lot, King RD just managed to evade an entire full team smoke gank down bottom. So there's so much time for Wolf team to farm up from here. And speaking of Tavo, look at the build that he's gone for. Very, very early earn into the BKB directly. So now you have to deal already with the magic immune hero, especially when most of your damage is coming from Leshrac, coming from Shadow Demon, coming from these Gyrocopter spells. Medusa, you were already talking about it. She's not ready to contribute just yet. So how on earth do they get involved in these fights?
I don't think they easily killed Tavo in any way.
Okay, gonna lose Shadow Demon. Alright, now you definitely lose Roche. It's one thing if you're trying to play around the area 4v5, but without Shadow Demon, there's no way. Yeah, just give it up. It's fine.
And KJ has an urn as well, so that's an additional boon in these fights. Almost gets his head crushed by Roche, but still alive.
At least get King RD. I mean, King RD doesn't care if he dies anymore, right? Look what he bought just before he went down here, Wingblade. Picked up his Blink Dagger.
Yeah.
Pass for Blink
He could
Dagger
die 20
pre-20.
times in a row.
Yep, it's fine.
That's
He
fine.
killed me.
I have my blink, guys, don't worry. I'm just creating space. Ooh, Monkey King though. That's not good.
He loses life number 1 in this top lane, caught very far afield from the rest of the squad. He doesn't have a BKB, so he has no defensive prowess here. Will end up losing his life. I missed the first kill because I honestly never in my wildest dreams imagined that he'd go top by himself. And now he's just dead. That was the Aegis. All the advantage they gained from taking out the Roche just gone in the blink of an eye. And G-Pride might want to full chase for more. Looking for Tavo underneath the tier 1 tower, but he pops the BKB. They turn around, bring down Yadomi. King RD, Blink Dagger up again in 10. 40Rs also showing up. Doesn't have his own blink. Very, very close to it. 10 seconds until they have access again to the Dream Coil. But chooses better than to try and chase forward for this one. They'll take the 1-for-1 trade, but G-Pride get the much bigger one as HFN taken out. Why? Why was it up? What happened?
I don't know, but now it's Leshrac's turn.
Leshrac, why are you River? What happened?
Trouble.
Oh my god, gets off a lot of the spells though, but it's not gonna help because there's just too much damage coming in. And now they're chasing for more. The slow down from the Diffusal onto Genek as King RD also jumps onto the Medusa. Tossles her back into the fight. She doesn't have Stone Gaze either. Wukong's command activated with the Dream Coil. They know she has no way out of this one. She's certainly going to die as now removed from play in this mid lane, giving the gold for Puck to pick up a Blink Dagger as well. Everything has just gone south here, Wingblade. It looked like Wolf Team was the one that was going to be doing the big throw, but just like game one, G Pride is like, any throw you can do, we can do better, and now give away 3 heroes inside the river.
Yeah, damn. I was like, this is such a good sign for G Pride getting the double kill onto HFN, and then they lose 3 heroes and mid and their carry, and I'm like, this is awkward. Because now there's gonna be a BKB on the Monkey King next fight, and of course DP has it. There's gonna be a blink on Puck. This is just a terrible position for G Pride.
They find King RD, they toss him out, they get the quick and early kill there. Big stuff being done right now by the side of G Pride. Oh, Wolf Team, excuse me, as G Pride can't really do anything to stop them. Unfortunately, they're still locked behind the progress of both the Medusa and the Leshrac. You were mentioning that Leshrac needs this BKB. He's queued it up now after finishing the Yule Scepter, but he's so far away from it. Not only is it not going to be arriving anytime soon, but by the time it does arrive, you know, Monkey King will be having, before that it arrives even, Monkey King will have that 9-second BKB. Tava already has their BKB. 40R building into Sanj and Kaya, so you'll have a ton of status resistance. It feels like even if the BKB gets there, by the time it arrives, the damage items for Wolf Team will have arrived at the same time to allow them to kill Tau anyway, even through the magic immunity.
Yep. And BKB isn't even a get out of jail free card because they are playing against the Treant. So even if you do pop the BKB, if you have shit positioning, you're still gonna get rooted.
The key to playing Dota well, don't be positioned like shit, you know. Position better, win the game, easy.
If you wanna get good at Dota, just don't make mistakes. Easy.
Just be the best player, don't make mistakes, and win your games. Doesn't sound like difficult proposition at all. Simplest thing in the world.
If you wanna make some good decisions, you can just make all of the bad decisions, and then you've made all of those, so you can't do them anymore, and then you make good decisions. It's like, we'll give the enemy Tiny plus Death Prophet, and the next game, you know, let's go ban Tiny and Death Prophet.
Yeah.
It's really quite easy.
Unfortunately, G Pride did this a little bit lopsided in the order. Game 1, they banned the Tiny and Death Prophet, came very close to winning, and they were dominant for most of that game, only losing out at the very latter portions due to some, let's call them questionable plays coming in from not just the offlaner, but the whole team as a whole. This time around though, they let the DP and the Tiny through, and there's no space for them to even be competitive because right now they are being dominated, Wingblade. 2 towers taken, they've lost their outpost. Roshan, I mean, we had a Rosh already pre 20 minutes being taken. It's most likely going to be a Rosh in favor of Wolf Team yet again. And unfortunately for G Pride, there's still not that much they can do at this point in time, right? They still need to wait until they feel a bit stronger to try and take these fights. At the very least, they need the Skadi on the Dusa. But without having the Skadi on the Dusa, they just don't have the damage to do anything in these fights.
Yeah, true. It is so hard for anyone to do anything because Dusa needs to have like insanely good position because she cannot fight under the Wukong's command. So she needs to spend a lot of time just running around. And I don't think there is a hero that can really use that time to get something done because Lesh without BKB just dies so fast.
Yeah. Just get torn to shreds. Leshrac still not having full access to said BKB. Not even halfway through. Only about a third of the progress has been made so far. As we just quickly see 40R just getting a quick pick off onto Genek just to remind him, oh hey, by the way, we're winning. Just you can't even walk around in front of your own base. You do that, we're probably gonna end up killing you. And now Overgrowth throwing out. Okay, good kill onto this KJ hero. King RD gets eaten with the homing missile. Do they want to chase him though? There's gonna be the cooldown. Not gonna connect onto anybody. Medusa doesn't have BKB. She's inside the Wukongs. There's not gonna be a Dream Coil though. And double BKBs will pop from both HFN and Tavo. This is actually very, very bad. Wolf Team needs to flee immediately. And G Pride, although they brought back on Genek, probably wasn't necessary. They're very happy with how this fight is worn out here, Wingblade. They get something out of Wolf Team without having to sacrifice too much themselves.
Yeah, for sure. HFN got very excited with his DD rune, but Dusa just ran away from the Wukongs. Very nicely played by G-Pride.
And they smoke up themselves. They have this blink here from Lewis. Blink into the Sange. Is this a Heaven's Halberd that's going to be coming out from the Tidehunter to try and help them deal with the Monkey King at least?
I think at some point, yes. It's not super useful yet because the BKB is still quite long for the Monkey King. Actually, it's just 7 seconds. Never mind. Yeah, Heaven's Halberd is quite good. But even then, it doesn't feel great because it's like the only source of physical right clicks. So yeah, it's a bit awkward, but it's better than nothing. And just having the Sange in general for the stats and the passive effects is pretty good.
Smoke up now from Wolf Team. They're looking for their own Rap. Who will they find? Oh god, they come across now and Lewis. There's a Ravage available, but they first toss back now on the Medusa, and they got the kill onto Genik as well. It's a 4v5 fight early on here. Wukong's not going to be out just yet from HFN. Doesn't have it. Beautiful BKB coming in from HFN so he can get off the Wukong's command right in front of the Medusa's face. Ravage will not connect onto him, and 40R also managed to evade the Ravage with the phase shift. Wolf Team outplaying Gorilla's Pride. Heads up right now, and they're not done just yet. They found Town in the river. He gets the haste rune, the one rune that can keep him alive here, Wingblade, and he's actually going to freaking live. Are you kidding me? 40R trying to chase him, but will not be able to catch up. As unlucky as the Medusa got, the Leshrac gets super lucky and TP's out to safety. But nonetheless, it's another successful fight for the Wolf Team. And for the first time this game, it's a successful fight that involves HFN with no worries, putting out the Wukongs, getting out all the damage he wants to, and making it very impossible for G-Pride to fight into him.
I loved seeing the thought process from now there. He got coiled, and he was like, I'm just gonna, you know, man fight the DP. This is gonna be fine. And then he clicked like twice, and he was like, wait, I'm not dealing any damage, and I'm losing all of my mana. And then he still tried to run out of the coil, got stunned, and then died as a result. Another grim reminder to ban Death Prophet.
Yeah! It's almost like the Spirit Siphon spell is broken, Wingblade.
Like, it's pretty good. And Gaben was like, you know, let's buff it this patch. This seems like a great idea. Death Prophet's pretty weak.
Was already losing too many. Like, I'm sure Gaben looks and says, man, only like 65% win rate? What? No, we gotta pump those numbers up. Here's some better, here's an additional charge. We're gonna make everything better for you. This hero is just stupid. And already has access to the Aghanim shot as well, so Tavo preventing anybody on the side of G-Pride from just sticking on top of him and dishing out damage. And unfortunately, there's no like one huge Aghanim shard that you can pick up on the side of G-Pride, right, that makes them this strong. The best you can do is the Yadomi shard. You know, this thing is nice, and we saw it last time. You were mentioning like a bajillion damage coming in from the homing missile, but ultimately it just does not compare to what Death Prophet can do. And because it doesn't compare to what she can do, it's creating so much space for HFN to just play a practically free Monkey King game. Just build the items, not even that are best for Monkey King, but that are best for Monkey King against Medusa, and that's what he's been doing so far.
Yeah, and HFN has been doing a pretty good job keeping up with the Medusa in terms of farm as well. Like, a Monkey King can still fight a Medusa if he's like 5k gold behind, and he's just 1k gold behind. Nerdy.
Fight's gonna break out right now,
Pretty
though.
stuck on the cliff right now.
Lewis gets off the Ravage onto King RD and KJ, but it's only a 2-hero Ravage there. There's gonna be a disruption though, because Tavo's on the low ground with the Exorcism going. 40R gets off the Dream Coil, brings down the one support in Genek. The other support dies from Yadomi soon after. Overgrowth coming in from KJ because they still haven't killed this Treant Protector, although they have brought down this Death Prophet at long last. The damage from now, doing the right thing, but now here comes King RD, Avalanche, Toss, HFN doesn't even need the Wukongs in this instance, just right clicks down through the Medusa and she's gone. Leshrac follows her into the grave. The lone survivor being Lewis laid out that Aghanim's Gush to try and create some breathing room, and that breathing room will be afforded to him. He will escape this fight, but he'll be the only one to do so, as his 4 compatriots fall And the big heroes on the side of Wolf Team remain alive. Sure, they killed Tabo, but 40R, HFN, the two of them stood strong. And now not only do they stand strong Wingblade, but they go straight into the Roshan pit. And G-Pride might not have the tools to contest this.
Oh, and a DD as well. Oh, pick it up, HFN. Yes. I was gonna say it's a pretty slow Roche for them. Because Monkey King is pretty shit at taking Roche and Exorcism is not up. He finds a DD rune. I guess that's a payback for the Lesh finding the haste rune when running away. This is some nice timing.
I mean, KJ also came back off the back of that fight. Although KJ died fairly early on, they got enough out of it that KJ was able to complete the full Solar Crest. And you know, you always love this. Like whenever I play support, this is the best feeling in the world. You just finish an item literally seconds before that exact item is needed by the rest of the team. And because they have that Solar Crest, they got the Roshan. I mean, they're probably going to get it anyway, but goes a bit faster. HFN gets the Skadi on the retreat as well. So here he is. 3k HP, 26 armor, an Aegis, a BKB. Yeah, he's not going to die anytime soon.
Yeah, Wolf Team really came to play today.
Into
Ancient
HFN.
stack as well on the triangle.
What can they do about this on the side of G-Pride? So if you're them, what's the recovery plan at this point? I mean, obviously you want to get Medusa as farmed as possible, but you might not get that latitude. But in particular, I'm really worried about Tao. How can Tao reassert himself and have more influence back in this game again? I'm not sure the Sandra Kaya is the panacea he needs, but is there an item or is there like a level timing he needs to reach first before he can participate again?
So you want the realistic answer or the analyst answer?
Ooh, all right. Give us the analyst answer first, you know, but you got to stretch it out, you know, make it seem viable for a while and then give me the realistic one.
Well, his role in this game is no longer really to take the fights. He is like the most disposable hero, so he can just keep pushing the lanes and hope that if they were to take a fight, it's gonna be in a position where like his team's base is not gonna be compromised if they lose. So he needs to push lanes and force fights in weird places, and then he can come back. But right now, Dusa's dying, so I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah, Dusa's dying. You're talking about fights in weird places as Wolf Team. They smoked into the dire jungle, catching out the Medusa and the Shadow Demon. They got Jinek early on, now trying to escape with the Stone Gaze, but has to know that there's no way out of this one. Losing the life, King RD able to pick up the kill. I'm not sure King RD got the memo that he's playing support Tiny here. Been picking off these core heroes time after time after time. And here he is again, making magic happen for the squad. And that's yet another death for the Dusa, the 5th one in this game. I feel like there's certain carry heroes that only have like 5 or 6 deaths in them. And Medusa, very high up on that list. How, like, what do you do now at this point?
Cry. And Lesh doesn't have the shard yet. Okay, I was gonna say, he needs to pick up the shard for defense. A lot of damage onto Tava.
Tabo gets ravaged as well. They really want to try and force this kill, but Tabo gets off the BKB. They're still alive. They even commit the demonic purge onto him. They do get the kill.
Not bad.
It's not bad so far because they also managed to pick up King RD on the way out as well. Yadomi, him and Lewis comboing up together to dish out a ton of magic damage. And not only that, your Wingblade, they took the first life away from HFN and they just killed Adriano inside the base. What? How did that happen? Okay.
I have no idea. That was such a major fuck up.
That should not have happened. That should not have happened.
Nope. Especially the puck. Like, the Death Prophet was unfortunate with like some chain stance and then demonic purge committed, but puck dying, that's just like, shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen.
Well, you know what? But I'm glad it happened in a way because that means that we get a bit more chaos here. We get some more Dota. We don't have a situation where they're just gonna roll over on the side of G-Pride after being stomped 2-0. Looks like they still have some fight in them. And that fight here, look what it gave them. Not only did they manage to kill DP and Puck, it gave Lewis enough gold to finish the full refresher. So he has that plus quickening charm. So these Ravages are available a lot more often than they used to be just a moment ago.
Yep, and Dusa's probably gonna get a BKB soon.
King
Quite
RD.
yet though, and team is on the hunt here.
Not sure they get more than just this young Yadomi gyrocopter. And G-Pride, it's unfortunate that they had to give up the life of the Leshrac. He does have buyback, but I think they're just probably going to be happy that they claimed a tier 2 tower at this point. They're extending their own map control. I mean, for the first time in like, well, the entire game practically, it actually feels like G-Pride are making moves that they want to make, not just responding to what Wolf Team are doing.
You say that, but I'm looking at my screen and I see 3 dead G-Pride heroes.
They want to be dead, fam.
Right. I mean, same, but...
Oh, God. All right, never mind. So we're back where we started a few moments ago, but this last fight in this exact point didn't go so well for them. It did require them to use Ravage and Split Earths, and they didn't have Exorcism at the time, so now they will commit the Ghosts. Cooldown will be there from Yadomi. The respawn on the Lesh is in 10 seconds.
Such
How
a
much
pain.
damage is that?
It's a lot, and Wolf Team has like no attack speed.
Well, fortunately, they don't actually need attack speed because all they need is Exorcism Ghosts. Secures them the melee racks. Tao does end up respawning. What an unfortunate time to lose the racks, right? Lewis comes back, has double Ravage available. Tao comes back, has BKB, Aghanim Shot, Split Earth, all this good stuff, but they're just gone. And you also know that as nice as it is to take a fight when you have this vision advantage, it's a very dangerous smoke out of the base, Wingblade, but they're going to make it anyway.
Do have the double Ravages, and there is no Exorcism.
You can't Ravage though if you're stunned, and he gets avalanched immediately. There's going to be Ravage number 1, only catching HFN and KJ.
Ravages.
Ravage 2 only does the same. Stone Gaze will come out from the Na Medusa, only enabling him to kill KJ for now. At the same time though, Tavo able to chase down Lewis on the Tidehunter. Certainly a more worthwhile trade as 40R and King RD also now clean up Genek. It is a 2-for-1 exchange here. The 2 on G-Pride both have buyback though. However, even if Tidehunter buys back, he doesn't have any Ravages available. Doesn't have Demonic Purge online for this young Yenek Shadow Demon either. So Wolf Team pretty much empowered to do whatever the hell they want for the next 30 seconds.
And big shout out as well to King ID for his toss there. He tossed the Tidehunter right on top of the Monkey King. So Tide got really excited. He's like, oh, this is the core we need to kill. So he went for a double Ravage, but his team was so far away. And at first I was like, oh, that's not a great toss, because now he gets off the double Ravage in the middle of the enemy team. But I mean, King ID just recognized that G-Pride was nowhere close.
Yeah. Creating the conditions to allow his team to not only take the teamfight victory, but you know, blow their only big teamfight spell. Now without access to the double Ravage, gonna be very difficult for them to make moves on the map. Does seem like the Wolf Team have learnt enough that punch in the nose, the last time they made this push, they're like, yeah, let's wait for the next Roche. I must say,
it's
actually,
still
this
very hard to push. Because you're playing against Dusa, Leshite, and Tidehunter Axe. The win condition for G-Pride is just to stretch this really long and wait for Wolf Team to get impatient, because it's really hard for them to push, even with the DP.
Speaking of win conditions, the big hero for G-Pride that they need to be as strong as possible is of course going to be this Medusa. Now closing in on getting a Daedalus. Has to TP home quickly. 40R doesn't have Aghanim Scepter, so cannot cancel this out. Yadomi, of course, not as lucky as to have a BKB, so certainly will die. But this build-up that we're seeing from the Medusa right now into the Daedalus, afterwards into the Hurricane Pike, she's going to be close to being maxed out then. What's the last item for her? Is this a butterfly game that she needs to try and get to clean this up as we see Lewis? Oh, he's so dead. Oh no, why? No, Lewis! No! No! He ravaged Wingblade, why? He ravaged. Now even if he buys back, he'll only have 1 Ravage available.
Feels bad, man. Feels so bad.
Oh,
You know, I didn't vocalize it the way you did, but I feel the same.
Man, I was so sad by what had just happened. It took me back before puberty, man. That's how sad I am. Just awful times. the very least, though, because of that defensive prowess that you mentioned, still having access to the Dusa, still having access to the Leshrac, it will prevent Wolf Team from running headlong up the hill. The Ghosts did return to Tavo, so the damage done to the tower not going to be enough to fully complete it, but nonetheless, they are in a very dominant position. The big man of Roshan is up in 1 minute, and when he does come up, at the very least by then they'll have back double Ravage online for G-Pride, but can they even afford to leave their base at all here, Wingblade?
It's kind of rough. You don't want to leave the base, but you kind of have to at some point. Because yeah, you have good deep push, but if you're like 40k behind at 50 minutes, it's probably not gonna matter too much. So you want to stay in base, you just can't.
So you're saying that they have to treat the base like most of us treat our houses in the morning? Oh, do you have to go to work? Damn it! I don't want to leave this house. I'm trying to chill, hang out. But in order to have some success, gain something to put some food on the table, you do have to leave eventually, especially this Medusa, because she needs this net worth. You were already talking about it, how Monkey King can fight her being 5k behind. If they're even, Monkey King wins that fight, and not just against her, but against the entire team, 100 times out of 100.
Yep. The one thing that G-Pride can do is try to get the Demonic Purge, because if the Monkey King can't close the distance, and if Dusa has like a Hurricane Pike, or just stands far enough away, it's very hard for Monkey King to do anything. The problem is that Wolf Team just has so much control and burst damage on their other heroes that it's kind of difficult for Shadow Demon to get into position, because you can see 4DR just focusing the Shadow Demon every single fight.
Yeah. Actually, when we get to the end of the game, I'd love to see the stats of how many of our Shadow Demon's 13 deaths were given to him courtesy of 4DR on the puck. They're smoked up now. They finally have made the decision to set the alarm, leave for work, but just like what happens when you try to leave for work sometimes with a hangover, it's too late. It's too late. They have missed the opportunity. The window has just closed now, and Wolf Team picked up the Aegis for HFN. The cheese goes the way of Tavo on this Death Prophet. And who did they give the other goodie to? Let us see.
Gave Aghanims to HFN.
HFN. All right. HFN's grabbing the Ags. All right, good time. So now we have these super stone golems on the Monkey King inside the Wukongs with the additional damage. Easy fights. Also, I'm looking at this item. Do you remember when the Basher was first introduced with Monkey King?
Yeah, good times. Good times. I remember a guy in my friend list unfriending anyone who played the Monkey King. It's hilarious.
That is the person who I want to friend, that guy, because he has good taste. I hope that he's also unfriending anybody who is picking Primal Beast right now. All of you are picking Primal Beast. Y'all suck. Please stop.
I'm not sure he unfriended me.
Lol. Turns out that Wingblade cares more about winning games than about providing a fun experience for everybody else in the lobby.
Who said Dota is about fun?
The most fun thing is winning, right?
Yep.
Oh, lol. HFN on the cusp of being able to win this game out. I mean, this is not just going to be great for them to win this game, but getting revenge from last season. It could easily have been the Wolf Team squad that ended up 3rd place instead of lower down the pecking order, but Gorilla's Pride stopped them in their tracks from being able to do so. Now here they are though, looking hella strong, looking for their first win. They didn't look so hot in the game, in their opening series against the side of Omega Gaming, but now they look a lot better. But that being said, Lewis finds a Rabbit, 1 onto HFN, it's 2 onto HFN, and it's enough to take his first life, but it will cost the life of Lewis, and now HFN is back, full HP, full mana, BKB, Wukongs, they all have to run away, and unfortunately now it's caught inside it. So is Jenek on the Shadow Demon, no escape available. This is a level 25 Wukong's command, so that huge command ring is inescapable right now. And G-Pride lose the Leshrac, they lose the Medusa. Medusa has buyback, she's forced to use it as Tabo still has the last moments of Ghost going, running forward into the base, not going to be able to make much more happen here, but will still just buy space and time away from the rest of the squad as they clean up the second lane of Rax. And now King RD jumping forward, tossing back now in front of HFN once more. The Shadow Demon will attempt the saving disruption, but it doesn't matter. Gonna be another death on the Medusa. It's gonna be a dieback on the Medusa. It's gonna be a GG call by G-Pride. and it's gonna be Wolf Team taking the 2-0 sweep here in this game. And here in this series, they finally put themselves on the board. They've shown their quality, and Wingblade, they've shown that they're a team not to be messed with. Today they came to play.
All right. I'm impressed. Yeah. I mean, after the first game, I was like, well, you know, maybe this is a fluke, you know, but second game, damn.
Yeah.
They're looking good.
They actually played really well today. Way better than what they looked like when they played against Omega Gaming last week. One of the things I was quite impressed about, though, and I think this goes back to what you were talking about in game one, Wingblade,